Alright guys, welcome back to my Chaos Corner. Today we're going to try something. I only have one of these, so I'm hoping it will work out and you guys will get to see it from beginning to end. And you'll also see the first time that I'm actually doing this craft. We're going to turn a cool teacup and saucer set into an Easter display. Now what you're going to need is obviously a cup and saucer, a fork, some garland. Now if you don't want to make it Eastery, you can change what garland you use. You're going to need some crazy glue. You're going to need your hot glue gun. And you're going to need those shabby chic eggs that I did in a different tutorial. And I showed in the tutorial how to do this one. So I have two of this one, and then I went and made a couple more with a little bit of... Okay, had to pause because the dog decided to play with his water bottle. So I made a couple more. I made one with a purple ribbon with a yellow rose and two green roses, and that little green leaf, I guess we'll say charm, from a bracelet that I tore apart. Then this one, I used some other things. I stacked some buttons like I did in the button paperclip bookmark tutorial that I did. Here is a yellow charm from that bracelet, and then a little rose charm from a bracelet that I tore apart, and of course a different ribbon. All this was done the same way that I showed in that tutorial. Okay, now after those eggs, you're going to need a pair of scissors and some bigger pliers if you don't have a lot of hand strength. And the reason why I say if you don't have a lot of hand strength is you're going to be bending this fork to look like this. You're going to kind of make an L or a wonky S, but that's the shape you're going to be you're going to be bending your fork into. And sometimes you can bend it with your hand. Like this one is nice and malleable right here where the prongs meet the handle. So I could bend that real easy with my own hands. But up here, not so much. So I get my heavy duty pliers, and then you see I just did a nice little blink. And now it's bent. So now I'm going to decide, since I have two forks, I'm going to decide which one will hold my cup the better way. You want to make sure everything is clean and dry, so I'm grabbing a handy dandy wet wipe because I noticed some dirt on my plate and I noticed some dirt down in my cup. Now these, I got these, there goes the dog playing with his thing again. Alright, I got these from a thrift store, so I didn't pay a whole lot. In fact, this is the cup and saucer that you saw in my how to remove permanent ink tutorial. I guess we'll call it a tutorial. I think I rambled on that one a bit. Alright, so good, clean, and dry. What's really funny is when I had to pause the video to make the dog stop playing with his toy, I said, Thunder, which is my dog's name, I said, I'm recording. And he looked at me, and he dropped his water bottle and just laid down. I have no idea how he knew what that meant, but he stopped. So now I'm going to kind of decide how I want my plate. And I'm going to go... I want my flowers on top so when people are looking down at it, they see the most decorated part of the cup. Because if you do it this way, you won't see you won't see the decorations. So I want to make sure that I'm going to see my decoration. And I kind of like how that sits, but let's check this one. I guess either one will work just fine. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the crazy glue. The crazy glue is something I got from the Dollar Tree. Thunder! He wants to play with his toy so bad, but he's trying to be really quiet. Okay. So this is crazy glue that I got from the Dollar Tree, so not a whole lot of money yet. And I'm going to squeeze out this glue along the tongs. Uh-oh, I think this one's empty. Not a problem. I have another package. When you're starting these, you poke the little cap down in it and that pops open the glue area. There we go. Nice and generous amount. Go ahead and put some more on that first tong just to make sure that I have a good generous amount. Alright. I love that this crazy glue comes with this little orange cap because that creates a stand so it doesn't drip all over the place. And I'm a big fan of having a needle or a pin that goes down in the tube nozzle so it keeps the nozzle from getting clogged. Oh, I just glued myself. Okay, and then we're gonna set that down, and then to kind of help hold it in place, we're gonna put a generous amount of hot glue along the tines. Try not to burn yourself or glue yourself. And it's okay to make a big globby mess down here because you're going to be putting all kinds of stuff down here on the plate. This is when a traditional glue gun rack would come in handy because it would hold your glue gun in place while you're restocking. There we go. And then I'm going to just put a little glob back here to give it some support back there. Okay. Now you don't want to rush this, so I'm going to have to pause the video and wait for this to get good and solidified. Alright guys, it's good and solid. Obviously the crazy glue will still need a good 24 hours to fully cure. It has not been that long, but the hot glue is holding it in place. So I'm going to pull out my crazy glue again. Glue my fingers. I love gluing my fingers apparently. And this time I'm going to need something to I bet this will work. So we want something to hold the weight of the plate or the weight of the cup so that the glue can firm up on it. There we go, that'll work. Once I put the glue in place, I need something to hold the cup or I'm going to be stuck there for hours waiting for the glue to really hold it in place. So if I do it this way, I'll be able to set this off to the side and go about my day doing some other things. You'll be able to go about your day doing some other things. So that's the whole purpose of bringing this over to play. Again, try not to glue yourself. Whenever I use crazy glue, super glue, I always end up gluing my fingers together. And then I have to go and wash them off so that I don't remain glued together. And I put a generous amount on there. Alright. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is, once I'm sure that's in the exact spot I want, I'm going to just put a line of hot glue down each side just to give it a little bit more support. And again, don't worry about the hot glue showing, because you're going to be putting other stuff on here. I forgot to cap off my crazy glue. Good thing it didn't drip out. But yeah, you're going to be covering up the hot glue, so it doesn't matter if it's a hot mess right now, because once you're done with it, it's going to look gorgeous, and you're not even going to see any of that hot glue. Alright, again, got to take a pause so that that glue can cure. I'm actually going to give it a full 24 hours before I come back to show you guys the next one, the next step. It will all be in one long video, though, as long as YouTube will let me upload that long of a video. Alright guys, see you back in about 24 hours. Okay, it has now been actually more than 24 hours since I glued the cup onto the fork and the fork onto the plate. It is good and steady and sturdy. You'll notice that I have a different pair of scissors. I actually have a little kitty pair of scissors, because between the time I did the first part of this and getting back to here, I had to help out with some crafts for a birthday, so all my good scissors and my small glue guns and everything are in a different part of the house, and I didn't feel like going to that different part of the house to get them. So I'm doing this with what I still have down in my craft area. I have taken my garland off of its packaging. I have my decorated eggs. And I also have gotten these little gold and greenish blue speckled eggs. And I'm going to maybe put a couple of those in. Okay, had to pause because the dogs decided to have a little argument. Alright, so I'm going to start by gluing one of these in here, and I'm going to decide which one I like. I think I'm going to like a purple one up in there, because this one will probably get lost with how muted colors the ribbon is. But that one's kind of cute too, so I think I'm going to do that one. And I'm probably going to do a couple of these down here. I'm just kind of placing them to kind of decide what I want to do. I think I'm going to go like that. Something like that. Basically, the idea is to have them cascading out. And I think gluing the eggs in place first will be a... I think having the eggs in place first will make it easier to get the garland in place. So, I think I might have that one. Might do something more like this. Yeah, I'll have this one be my middle. A generous amount of hot glue once again. And I'm going to place this one right there. And this one like so. And it doesn't really matter how you place them. You just, you want it appealing to your eye. There's no wrong or right way to do this. And you don't even have to use all of the eggs that you made. You don't have, you know, there's no certain amount of numbers that you need to do. The one thing I'd say concentrate on is make sure that your decorations are visible. Oops, I got sloppy there, but that's okay. Doesn't hurt. You know, I think I want that up a little bit higher than where I had it. So it's going to take a little bit more glue. And it's okay if you don't use, you know, if you get glue somewhere and you're like, oh, they're going to see that glue. Nope, you're going to be able to cover that glue up with the garland that you're going to put in place. So I think this egg is not going to get used. I think the 4 eggs is going to be enough. And then I'm going to find my tail end of my garland. And I'm going to loop it in behind that first egg. Make it good and full. And then I'm just going to take this and wrap it in between, up and around. Get it good and full. And then I'm going to put a dab of hot glue down here because I want to make sure that the garland hides the rest of that fork, because you kind of want an illusion of the cup floating in the air. So I'm going to keep wrapping. And I was a little bit leery about this carrot garland. I was thinking it was going to be a little too cheesy, but it's actually looking really cute. And then I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue back here, right at the base of the fork, to kind of keep my garland in place. And then I'm going to put another little bit of hot glue right up here on the fork, again, because I want this to kind of have an optical illusion of not being, you know, like that the cup is floating in the air. And then take your scissors and give it a quick cut. How cute is that? Now if you know, if that's what you like and that's all you want to do, that's all you have to do. I'm going to open these up a little bit. And these are just decorations. These are not candies, but they're, you know, you could use candies and just kind of place the candies around and let people kind of steal them off the plate as they want. Okay, so just kind of, you can pile them up. You could glue them in place. I think I'm going to glue a couple of these in place because they look really cute. And just so I can get them in the place that I want, I'm going to put the glue on the egg itself and then put it in place. I think that kind of sets it off just a little bit. A bit more appealing. And if you're using a hot glue gun and you're getting all kinds of spider webs, just remember, let it cool and then go back and pull off the spider webs, because once it's cooled down, it won't spider web anymore. And you won't be creating, you won't continuously create spider webs. And all I'm doing is just kind of like looking at the egg, kind of deciding what side I want up facing to be seen, and then gluing the opposite side. So like I'm checking, because these eggs have a little bit more speckle in some areas, which is hard to tell on the screen. So that's all I'm doing, is I'm just kind of deciding where I want the egg facing. Like, do I want more speckle showing, less speckle? Nope, you know what? I don't like that there. I'll put that one down here. There, see, I created a spider web. There we go. I think I'll put a couple over here. If you use candies, I would not attach the candies, or make sure that the candies are attached in a way that they can be removed easily, because you don't want to store away candy and possibly get ants and stuff in your storage. But there we go. A nice little cascading Easter egg. I don't like this little carrot right there. There we go. So I didn't like how that carrot came out over my egg, so I just cut it away. So there you go. You got a nice little Easter decoration, and I don't like that carrot, so I'm cutting it away. I don't like that carrot either. There we go. Much better. Alright guys, let me know what you think about this. If you have any other ideas or suggestions. You could also do flowers for spring, but give me, if you have any suggestions or ideas, put them down in the comments. I'd love to see your creations. If you attempt it, show it to me. If you like it, of course, subscribe. When I put this video up, I'll make sure I put the link to the Shabby Chic Eggs video tutorial that I've already done. Make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell button so that you get notified when I update. And otherwise, I'll catch you on the next one.